InuYasha vlog location. Okay, if you're wondering, by this time recording, we're actually under quarantine, we're under lockdown for a few days. We're not infected, don't worry, everything's fine, but just for our studio precaution, we've had to seek refuge here at a Holiday Inn for the time being, but we are trying to remain as civilized as possible, and we're going to keep putting videos out for you guys. So, hello everyone, it's BigJackFilms here, and welcome back to the InuYasha vlogs. And today we are on the episode that I can't remember the name of, it'll be in the title, Mystical Hand of the Amorous Monk, Miroku. So, basically, plot-wise, it's kind of weird in this way, because I had an early InuYasha DVD set, right? And during the time, I always thought the season ended after the Resurrection of Kikyo arc, which would have been a great way to end it, because it's like, wow, what's going to happen next? But that would be a total tease. Turns out I was wrong. There was a couple more episodes on that disc that I was completely oblivious to, but obviously now with the passage of time, I know that wasn't the end, and now we do have a continuing storyline going on. We left off our heroes where Kikyo felt InuYasha portrayed him, and InuYasha sees it the other way around, so it's a big kind of mix-up of what the fuck is happening. Kagome is aware of this, she's doing perfectly fine, but InuYasha is reflecting on what the hell happened. So things are a bit of a puzzle in terms of the story right now. Other than that, we now cut to a new character. A character that will join our magnificent fellowship, and he will be essentially our wizard slash ranger slash Legolas of it. I don't know. It's hard to tell between him and this upcoming character later on, but we have reached the episode with the introduction of the monk Miroku, voiced in the English dub by Kirby Muro, who you guys will know as the main character in the Kong animated series, as well as a few other Canadian shows, you know, Yvonne at the Yukon, and he was also one of the voices of Goku at one point in the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball. But he's a great actor, really great guy to talk to. I've met him a few times, really great guy. But we introduce him as sort of this exorcist guy, kind of like, what's his name? Max von Sydow in The Exorcist. He goes around different villages and, you know, gets rid of demons, and he obviously is also a big womanizer, so he likes to, you know, flirt with women. He's a very handsome dude, and he seeks them out wherever he can. And there's a reason for it we'll get to in a sec. But anyway, so he fights off a weasel demon and removes the shard, but then he's also a petty thief, because he steals all the Lord's valuables and pawns them off and makes his cash that way. Then we cut to him bathing in a hot spring, surprise, surprise, and he also stumbles across in the corner Kagome bathing, and so we had seen some sexual, like, nudity stuff before, but this is the first time we really, in terms of Kagome, it's just like, whoa, holy shit. And even Miroku makes a joke where she's got, like, the jewel shards, like, the little, like, chunk of it around her neck, and he's like, she wears the shard of the sacred jewel, and there, I mean, it's huge, and obviously that is the case, but to the point, basically, he finds out that she has the shard and is with InuYasha. So basically, he hatches a plan to ambush them and steal the shard for himself in a very calm and collective manner, using his sidekick, Hachi. Now, Hachi is voiced by, I can't remember what his name is, but he was the voice of Krillin in the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball. A lot of Dragon Ball Ocean dub people in this dub. So Hachi is basically he calls himself a badger, but he looks like a full-size raccoon. If you were to do this as a film, you'd probably just get a big fat suit and just, like, put a raccoon furry suit around it. But anyway, he attacks the group and, you know, separates InuYasha from Kagome so Miroku can get a hold of Kagome, steal the shard, and run off. And he also took his bike, and for some reason Miroku knows how to ride a bike. Ain't that weird? Because, like, bikes haven't been invented yet in this timeline. But anyway, they find Miroku in another village, flirting with a ton of ladies, and InuYasha and him get into a scuffle. During that time, we find out that Miroku is very sensitive to people's, like, humans, and, like, you know, he does care about people and people's lives. So what he does is he tells people, villagers, take heed, distance yourself. I warn you, it's for your safety. And as InuYasha pulls out his Tetsaiga, he takes off these beads, and he reveals this wind coming out of his hand, which is known as a wind tunnel. And this thing is basically a giant magic vacuum void that can suck anything in its path, and basically if you get in this thing, you're not coming out. It's a death trap, it's a death void. In a way, it's never really been explained in the show where the void goes. For me, it's kind of a mix of like a black hole and the quantum realm thing from Ant-Man, where it just keeps going and going and going and you never stop. It's kind of when I see it mixed with a black hole. So Kagome, you know, tries to save InuYasha by jumping into the tunnel, and, you know, Miroku catches her before he sucks her in. No pun intended, but anyway. So they both realize, Kagome's like, this guy's not too bad, he's a pretty cool dude. But then Miroku is known to be a bit of a copper. So there's a funny, great scene where, you know, she's getting groped on the butt, and then Kagome's like, I was wrong, kill him, kill him, kill him. It's like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's like, hey, pirate, hang him. It's kind of funny that way, but as we go around, we find out why he does what he does, why he's seeking the shards, and we discover there is a darker mince in this world. One being the mysterious character at this point of Naraku, who will essentially be our title villain, because he has affected a lot of people in this show, and he is, I will say this beforehand, probably you're going to be seeing this, as I talk about this guy, you're going to be seeing probably easily one of the greatest villains I've ever seen in any media. So, Miroku's story with Naraku is that his grandfather 50 years ago had apparently been hunting Naraku his whole life, but Naraku was also a shapeshifter who could take on different forms of different people. Why he doesn't use that later in the show, I have no idea. But basically, Naraku curses Miroku's grandfather with this wind tunnel, and it will be passed on from each generation until there's nothing left of that bloodline. So, in order to do so, and the thing is with Miroku, each year the hole becomes bigger and the wind more powerful, so he has to destroy Naraku to lift the curse. It's classic Pirates of the Caribbean, classic Harry Potter. Destroy the villain, you destroy the curse. But there's more to Naraku than what seems, because he is also after the jewel shards, and had actually almost obtained the jewel 50 years ago, slaying the priestess Kikyo. So not only do we get the resolution of the last 2 episodes, we find out that there is a bigger mystery behind this, and InuYasha discovers that it wasn't him who killed Kikyo, it was Naraku taking the form of him to kill Kikyo to make them hate each other, and therefore he decides, you know what, I'm gonna find, he has basically his ultimate quest, forget the jewel shards, even though it's part of it, but his main quest, hunt down Naraku, avenge Kikyo's death. Classic revenge story. So it ends where Miroku essentially has joined our fellowship, and we leave off to the next adventure. So, my thoughts on this episode. I really like this one. This is a really good kind of reveal episode. A lot of questions are kind of answered. We have a few more questions that are also added to it, but it introduces a great character, one of the best in the show, and we see our fellowship essentially growing stronger and stronger with more companions and more people. Because it's not just Miroku, we also have Hachi, because Hachi will end up being essentially, at some point in a few areas of the show, air support. Air travel. It'll make their travel go a lot faster than walking. It's the equivalent of getting the Eagles in Lord of the Rings to take you to the Ring of Mount Doom. And I'm not getting into that argument. But yeah, it's a great show, great acting. Some of the actors are, I think at this point, a lot of the actors have started to get used to their characters, and now they're able to, like, bloom a bit and, you know, allow more added acting and development. We've had, about 15 episodes or so for them to kind of find their characters, but now we're at a really sweet spot where everybody's kind of working with each other, and it's great. The humor is great. Yeah, it's pretty pervy, not gonna lie, but at the same time, the humor works in the favor. For example, at the end of the episode, Miroku does propose to Kagome to bear his son, and what's really funny is that Kagome actually makes the Hamtaro heke sound, which is funny because, again, the Ocean Studio did do the English dub of Hamtaro, and Laura is voiced by Monica Story, who voices Kagome. But, you know, the humor works in its favor, and it's not too forced, it's not too cringy. It actually does work, especially in both dubs. There's be times I'd be watching episodes that are in Japanese and some that are in English, but I mostly stick to the English dub. But yeah, the comedy works here. The dark and serious moments work here. The shocking reveals work here really well. It's a great episode. and a good way to kind of start understanding where we're going with this plot, because we've had a few episodes where it's just been hunting shards, but let's get to an actual story here. You know, you can have your main quest, but you've got to have stuff that's going to be basically massive obstacles other than just your demon or monster of the week. So, which is a shame because the next episode is filler. But I really enjoyed this episode. Great plot lines revealed, more questions are asked, and it leaves you hanging for the next one, and it makes you want to continue on to the adventure. But I give this one probably about a good 8.5 out of 10. It's definitely not one of my favorite episodes, but it's a damn good episode. It's a good way to kind of keep the adventure going and add a bit more flavor and a stronger story that will become a huge essential to the show at this point. So there's that. Take it for what it is and enjoy yourselves. Of course, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section below on your thoughts on this episode. Also, don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 or more will get you early access to all of our content, as well as other special features, as well as getting funds to produce a potential InuYasha movie, or whatever. You know, we got projects going on, but due to this coronavirus, everybody's kind of hunkering low, but we're going to still be making videos for you guys, and luckily a lot of these vlogs that we put out while this is happening, they are going to be on YouTube. They're not going to be Patreons only, because we do want to give content to you guys as much as we can. Plus, everybody's staying home and everybody's watching our show. Like, our ad revenue is up, and again, thank you all so much for 7,000 subscribers. We just hit that milestone. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and, you know, BigJackFilms signing off, saying, keep your friends closer, or keep your friends close, and keep your enemies closer. That does not make any sense. I fucked up that line, but I'll see you guys later. Take care.